South San Francisco 2 years ago, after I had an experience in the city that all too many people had, when my luggage was stolen out of my car. They tell you don't ever leave your luggage in the car. I never do until the one time I did. And of course, it got stolen. And what was most memorable about the experience for me is I went to this Target in South San Francisco, 10 o'clock at night, and I'm getting the toiletries I'm going to need for my next 2 days in the city. I get to the cashier.
You went there by yourself, not an assistant.
I think I went there. Well, yes, I had somebody drop me off at the store, and so
I don't mean to make that an issue. Actually, I waited somewhere I should not have waited into it.
Okay. First of all, I had to get the clerk, which is hard to find, to unlock the shampoo or the whatever. So that's one thing. And then I get to the cashier. The cashier asked me if I want one of those Target bags with a little bullseye on it. And I said, yes, that Target bag is going to be my luggage for the next 2 days. And she asked me what happened, and I told her. And she basically said, in not so many words, yeah, Democrats are assholes. And I thought, you know, if the cashier in South San Francisco at 10 o'clock at night believes that Democrats are assholes because the shampoo is locked up and my stuff got stolen out of the trunk, we've got a major problem that we have to address. And I think
that's an awesome story.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ARP. I guess mid-afternoon or mid-morning, more or less, but I appreciate you guys pulling up. Appreciate you guys rocking with me. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Wise. I appreciate you guys. Today has been a day. I had a couple doctor's appointments and things of that nature that I needed to hit up. So it kind of threw my schedule off and I couldn't make any changes. But hey, it is what it is, man. We here. We back like we never left. And we're going to get right into the show. I appreciate you guys pulling up. I know normally I do the shout outs, but we're not going to do shout outs today, man. We're going to just jump right into the show. I do want to make sure I show some love to my to the Blues, EDH, Coaster. Appreciate you, Zephyr K9. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. B, I think I seen you in there as well. Shout out to all the ARP family members, man. Appreciate you guys pulling up, man. And, you know, and being patient with me. I definitely appreciate it. We will be at it tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, as always. Just one of those days. But hey, Dr. Silla, how you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up, sister. Thank you very much. But hey, as you guys seen in the opening, what's up, Kenny G? More trouble on the Democratic front. You guys got a chance to see it right there in that opening video. Adam Schiff admitting to having his luggage stolen on Bill Maher. I mean, talk about a perfect metaphor for the Democrats right now. A perfect metaphor. Adam Schiff literally getting his luggage snatched in San Francisco, which if any of you guys have been out there in San Francisco, this is an issue. This is an issue. They tell you, you want to make your car look as empty as possible because they will break your windows. They will break into your daggone trunk and steal all your stuff. That's what's going on out there in California, especially in the Bay Area. Now, Adam Schiff, he got his luggage snatched out of a car in San Francisco. This is the heart of liberal California. And then he had a chance to hear it, you know, not through hearsay or anything like that. First, you know, basically, you know, what do you call that? Firsthand information, firsthand knowledge from a store clerk that Democrats, I got to say it, they're assholes. This clip from Bill Maher, the show, I mean, it's gold. Schiff's, you know, trying to spin this story into some kind of wake-up call for his party, but it just shows how out of touch they actually are. He admits that his stuff got stolen because he ignored the warnings. Well, Democrats ignored the warnings. You know, and the thing is that maybe if Democrats like him didn't push soft on crime policies, he wouldn't have to learn that lesson the hard daggone way. And the irony is thick here. Schiff's a California senator, and he's acting shocked that crime is a problem in his own backyard. I mean, come on, man. You guys helped create this mess. And Schiff's story isn't just a personal fail. It's a symbol of the Democrat Party's collapse, and Schiff's admitting on national TV that even a cashier in San Francisco working the late night shift think that they're all a disaster show. And that right there in itself just shows you how bad it's gotten, man. Crime is spiraling. People are fed up, and the Dems are clueless. But the reality is, out in California, they're not that fed up. In Oakland, they just elected a lady who would like to push $100 an hour minimum wage out there in California. These people are crazy. These people are crazy. And Trump's out here trying to clean up their mess, but he's facing his own battles as he nears the first 100 days. Speaking of Trump, let's talk about how he's doing at the 100-day mark. I mean, it's a mixed bag, sort of. And the Democrats' failures are giving him some breathing room, but not without pushback. A new Pew Research report says that Trump's approval rating is at 40%, down 7 points since February, and it's mostly because of the tariff situation. I want to pull this up for you. I want you guys to see this. I don't know, how much of it you'll be able to see, but every time when I pull up these articles and things of that nature, if you guys would like the article, just shoot me an email. I'd be more than happy to email it over to you. And my apologies for not having this already queued up and ready to go. But let me pull this down and put this up. There we go. Yeah, so as you can see here, this is from Pew Research Center. This is their website. If you want to go and check this article out, take some time and go through. If you want the article directly from me, just shoot me an email. I'd be more than happy to send it over to you. But, in the article itself, it talks about this, but, Trump does have a chance to turn it around. He does, especially with the GOP looking stronger than the Democrats right now. And the economy is a big issue. It is. And the economy, let's just be real. The economy's been bad for probably about 4 years. Well, going back to 21. So, yeah, we're going on the 4-year mark that the economy hasn't been that great. Let's just keep it real. The best year of the United States of America economy for me as an adult, I believe, was maybe 2018, 2019. Yeah. They it's supposed to be biased, but there's some decent information in there, if you guys would like to check it out. But the economy is a big issue, and that is an issue that they got to get right. Now, Trump is working on it. He is working on it, but the liberal media is spinning things to make it look way worse than it actually is. But we got to pump the brakes for a second, because there has been some market turbulence, but the media is acting like the sky is falling. They're ignoring the bigger picture. Trump's trying to fix a broken system the Democrats left behind. And to be honest with you, not just the Democrats, you can also talk about the Bush era as well, that they left behind. But for 2025, with President Trump coming in, this year, he inherited an economy that was already on shaky ground. Biden's inflation mess, it didn't just disappear. It's still here. And these tariffs are about forcing countries like China to play fair, not coddling them, like the Democrats have been doing. And the media won't tell you that foreign leaders are lining up to negotiate because they feel the pressure. They don't want to tell you the truth. And Trump's not just focused on the economy. He's tackling immigration, which is another mess that the Democrats ignored. Let's just keep it real.
I'm totally excited. Everybody I know is excited. My biggest issue is the border, and he's killing it. Well, absolutely, everybody that's here illegally should go. I'm not one of these that, the poor person. No, they need to go. They came in illegally.
Yeah. So Trump's hitting the ground running on the border. He's hitting the ground running on the border. And it's about time that someone did. He's not messing around. His first 100 days are all about cracking down on the immigration crisis the Democrats let fester for years. Now, some say, 11, 12 million people came over here, during the previous administration. I've heard numbers as high as 20 to 21 million people to come over here. But what we do know right now is that the border is closed. They put a real crackdown on that. And the message is this right here. It's pretty simple. If you're here illegally, you got to get up out of here. We're seeing an unprecedented ramp up in the administration's immigration enforcement. And the mainstream media they're losing their daggone minds behind it. And yesterday, the White House lined up over 100 posters, mugshots of unauthorized immigrants arrested for violent crimes right behind the press gaggle spot on the South Line. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, but I mean, it's crazy.
This morning that we have not seen in the first 100 days. That is a very early in the morning Caroline Leavitt press briefing. She's going to go into the briefing room at 8:30 in the morning, and we think that's what all these mug shots that are like a house for sale sign in the White House North Lawn the whole way all the way to the fence are about.
They're all migrants that have been arrested, illegal people here in our country that are criminals?
It looks like it, yeah. And they have listed it's a photo, it says illegal alien, and then whatever heinous crime they are charged with.
Huh. All right, it's on full display.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
I think this is the producer in Donald Trump. Of course, he puts it right there in the angle of all the press in Pebble Beach area, Brian, where you're at. So now they're almost forced to cover it because it's in their shot now.
True.
Nobody else is covering it. James Blair said to us before, he said, we want to put it there so people have to see it when they walk in. Right now, the president's doing best on border security and scooping up these illegal immigrants. And is anyone pro-illegal immigrant criminals? I mean, that's what these men and women are doing with ICE, and that's what they're doing all throughout our country. But they got to go find them now because, as even Adam Smith and other Democrats are admitting, Joe Biden let everybody in, and their asylum claims were ridiculous. Here's what, so we'll see where.
Yeah, so every network, every correspondent, from the White House, had these faces looming in the background. Now, I've never seen anything like that before. I've never seen, mugshots lined up, on the White House lawn. I've never seen anything like that before. It is pretty crazy. But I don't necessarily have a problem with it. And the thing is that if you think MSDNC would cover it, nah. Now, they kind of somewhat did, but they decided that they were going to blur the faces of the criminal illegal aliens like they're children. They tried to, act like these people are children, and they're going to blur the faces, that was showcased on the White House lawn. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see this, but goodness gracious, man.
Has put up about 100 posters of what they say are unauthorized immigrants who have been arrested for violent crimes. You can see them there. They put them up on the driveway of the White House. If you look here, that's the West Wing just at the forefront, the executive mansion itself to the left. But what's particularly noteworthy about this location is it is right directly behind the positions where TV correspondents do their hits from the White House lawn. So therefore, no matter what network you're on, that includes MSNBC, if you're doing a hit from the White House right now, those pictures will be behind you. The White House doing a briefing in about a half hour about what they're doing here. Maria, your response to this image.
So I have to say, one of the biggest challenges that we have with the deportations that we know of so far, for example, with Kilmer Abrego Garcia, we don't know if they've had due process. We don't know if, in fact, these individuals do have a rap sheet. So I would encourage those individuals that have that as a backshot to blur those people out. The job of journalism is to ensure that we are presenting the facts, that we are cross-referencing. We know that PolyFact actually checked the Trump administration because of an earlier picture that they released on Kilmer, recognizing that it was altered, that it was false, that they had placed gang signs, tattoos on him that weren't real. And so I would really, the press right now, we are absolutely under attack. Our job is always to have our true north, to make sure that we're presenting balanced news, and making sure that we are not putting folks that are potentially in danger, and having that representation of those pictures in the background. We can't allow that to basically for us to carry the water of potentially innocent people. So I would encourage, I recognize live shots are tough, but I would encourage folks to actually make sure that those shots are blurred to the best of your abilities. We know better.
Well said. Well said. And again, the focus here, doing the work, doing it well. As journalists, it's never been more important.
Consider this, man. a network so obsessed with protecting suspects, they ban images of confessed people who have confessed to some very, very heinous acts. We're talking the R word, the M word. We're talking fentanyl traffickers. We're talking human traffickers. Yet they mock and interrupt the president when he dares to mention their crimes and demand that you sympathize with these foreign gang members while ignoring the tens of thousands of American victims whose lives have been torn apart. Victims like Laken Riley, who will, yes, deserved better than to be left off the nightly news. And it's not just the media. It's the entire Democrat establishment who now, well, they've introduced articles of impeachment against Trump for doing what he was elected to do. This is insane, man. This is insanity.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. The court said the wrongfully deported Kilmer Garcia must be allowed to return and receive due process. Trump ignored it. He ignored the Constitution. He ignored the very checks and balances that keep our democracy intact. This isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a dangerous, deliberate pattern. That's why.
Wait, hold up. Oh my goodness. Hold up. Who said it? I got to stop. I'm sorry. Dwan Davis. Oh, bruh. He said he looks like Jimmy Fallon with a black wig. You got to be kidding me. Shout out to Alma Hunter with the $10 super chat. All I hear from MSNBC was lies upon lies from that lady. And also, we just don't like Trump. Yeah, that's exactly what you're going to get from MSDNC. Now, this dude is supposed to be, a Democrat representative from Michigan. Who voted this guy in office? Seriously.
Today, I introduced a resolution to impeach Donald J. Trump, outlining 7 articles of impeachment. Article 1, obstruction of justice and abuse of executive power, from denying due process to unlawful deportations. Trump defied court orders. Article 2, taking away Congress's power of the purse. Trump dismantled agencies and froze funds without permission from Congress. Article 3, abuse of trade powers and international aggression. He imposed damaging tariffs and threatened military invasions of our allies. Article 4, violation of First Amendment rights.
I'm gonna let the video play some more. But wow. Jimmy Fallon. Goodness gracious.
Retaliated against journalists, attorneys, and critics for exercising their right to free speech. Article 5, creation of an unlawful office establishing the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, and giving Elon Musk unconstitutional power over our government and personal data. Article 6, bribery and corruption. He has dismissed criminal cases and solicited payments from foreign governments and coerced legal settlements for personal and political gain. Article 7, tyrannical overreach. Finally, and most importantly, he is attempting to consolidate unchecked power and erode the constitutional limits of the presidency. In this country, we have presidents, not kings. That's not just misconduct, it's impeachable misconduct. This isn't leadership, it's tyranny. If we let this stand, we are saying the president is above the law, that the United States Constitution is optional. I won't be silent, and I'm calling on all my colleagues, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, to stand up with me. Enough is enough. Donald J. Trump must be impeached.
Okay, so first things first, and Dr. Silly, you a mess. Yeah, subtitles could have been, they would have helped. They definitely would have helped. But I got to say this first things first before I keep going. Wayne County, Detroit, Grosse Pointe, downriver communities, y'all got to take this L for Sri Thanedar. I think I pronounced his name properly. Y'all got to take this L for this guy. He got voted in Detroit. This dude is the representative of the 13th, Michigan's 13th congressional district. Wayne County. Seriously? Is it Thanedar? Okay, that's how you say that. Y'all got to take this. Y'all got to take the L. Goodness, man. Detroit, Dallas with Jasmine Crockett. Man, y'all taking L's all over the daggone country. So hear me out. We have a Indian American congressman from Michigan, Sri Thanedar, who has taken it upon himself. He has decided that impeachment was the Democrats' next big play. He introduced 7 articles, everything from abuse of power for tariff policies to obstruction of justice over immigration enforcement. They want to make the midterms a referendum on jailing Donald Trump. And here's a hot take for you guys. Impeaching a president you can't convict, just hand him a campaign rally. Every time you force Trump onto the ballot, he wins. You think rural conservatives, won't turn out to stop an impeachment that they see as clearly a partisan witch hunt? Come on now. This is textbook political, y'all know the word. Meanwhile, you have Republicans on track to pass massive growth tax cuts, finalize trade deals, fix the border, and stabilize inflation. In a year, the economic picture could look entirely different than what we're seeing today. Much better for every American. And if that happens, what will Democrats run on then? I'm okay with it. Go for it. If y'all feel like this is the plan, go for it. If y'all think that impeaching President Trump this time around is going to help you, go for it, man. They don't have solutions. That is the problem with these people. They don't have solutions. The reality is, right now, all they've got is obstruction, some hand-wringing, and some recycled panic lines. For the life of me, I don't understand why the left continues to do this, especially when it comes to immigration. Why not change course when you see it's not working? When you see 90+% of the population in this country, Americans in this country, they want illegal immigrants up out of here. They want gang members from foreign countries up out of here. And they just double down. They see it's not working, but they don't care. And it's because it's all about their warped philosophy on, where they think that, highlighting these criminals demonizes immigrants and fuels, some racist narrative that they think everybody has, fall spell under. So these people would rather sweep it under the rug and pretend that it's not happening. Shout out to Goose with the $2 super chat. It says their solution is for us to sit and sing. Yeah, I guess so. Thank you for the super chat. Now you got Joy Reid, and y'all know how we feel about Joy Reid. I know how everybody feels about Joy Reid. But Joy Reid herself has said crime only matters when it fits the left agenda. Back in 2022, she pointed out how Fox News dropped crime coverage after the midterms because it didn't serve their political goals anymore. But now the left's doing the exact same thing. They don't care about victims like Rachel Morin or Laken Riley because it doesn't fit their compassionate worldview. They're more worried about protecting the feelings of criminals than protecting Americans, and MSDNC blurring those faces is proof of that. It's the same reason that they downplayed the border crisis while tens of thousands of Americans suffer. But let's hear Joy Reid explain this mindset herself. Let's take a listen.
Community on earth. If you take that away and try to distill us just down to white folks, we'll be like Europe, an aging, slowly dying former empire. The Roman Empire didn't survive because it didn't have enough strength in its diversity. It suppressed its diversity and it died. If the U.S. wants to be the Roman Empire, keep voting the way you're voting, y'all. Keep voting for people like.
He's a moron because that's not why the Roman Empire died. That's not why. They overextended themselves. But that's another topic for another day. We don't have to go down the list of or the history, of why the Roman Empire died. But this woman is also a graduate of Harvard. This is also the woman that said that Canada could beat us straight up. Canadians could beat Americans straight up. Talking about how many guns and things of that nature that they have, but no one's more strapped up than Americans. No one. What's up, Analog? This is a Harvard graduate. Also, notice how she said if you keep, distilling us like white folks. I mean, that's not what's happening here. That's not what's happening here. And the Roman Empire fell because of a variety of reasons. Diversity, not being the only or even the main one. Let's just keep it real. Shout out to I'm a Hunter with the $20 super chat. Says the main issue with the Democrats is they think Trump is an idiot and doesn't know the law, when in fact he does and has very talented people around him who knows the law as well. Joy clearly failed her history class. She definitely did. She definitely did. I think one or two things with Joy. Either she is not a smart person, or two, she's a really good liar. You know what I'm saying? When she came out and said that Canada could beat us straight up, Canada doesn't even defend itself. And the Canadian citizens, they don't have more weaponry than American citizens. Analog Man said it's both. It could be both. It could be that, she's not that smart and she's pathological liar. It could be, it could be, both. But what we got going on right now here is we're deporting criminals. It's that simple. And the American people are 100% on board with it. We have 90% of the population that is 100% on board with getting rid of illegal immigrants, especially the gang members.
Democratic pollster Mark Penn, who I think is one of the best in the business, the Harvard-Harris poll, I think it's called, one of the few you can trust. We'll get to these other terrible polls as the show goes on, but shows nearly 80% of Americans support not just the zero border closing, the zero immigration to the border, but the deportations. The deportations, okay?
Yeah. Imagine losing the argument so badly that you have 80% of the country basically yelling, build a daggone wall and bring a bus to get these people up out of here. You got 80% of people saying we need to build the wall. 90% of people in the country are saying, yeah, let's get rid of these illegal immigrants who have come in and committed crimes. They've basically destroyed a lot of small businesses because they come in and undercut the prices, of a lot of our tradesmen, a lot of our small business owners out there. And you got people out there that own painting companies, but because you have, a lot of these illegal immigrants who, to an extent, some of them are very talented. And they'll come in and they'll lay floors and they'll do construction work, at fractions of the cost. This is happening. And the people are frustrated behind it. People are upset. Shout out to, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, Visham. Society needs to turn back to God Victoria. I'm not really familiar with God Victoria, but if you're saying God in itself, I definitely do agree with that statement there. Quincy James said, who has the second biggest? Oh, I must have missed something in there. Okay, never mind. I was going to go down there, but in reference to U.S. Navy, no one has more aircraft carriers than us. But I missed something up the chat. But this is crazy, man. When you have nearly 4 in 5 voters telling Washington that they want action, not some gut-wrenching or heart-wrenching sob stories about so-called anchor babies or persecuted migrants. When you got 4 out of 5 Americans that want this to happen, for every tearjerker the media runs about one deportation, I can name 10 tragic stories of American families shattered by the open border policy under Biden. We can talk about the small businesses that have gone out of business because they couldn't compete with the cheap labor that have come over here from the illegal immigrants. And you have Democrats who are still out here handing out maps and snacks like it's a field trip. Make no mistake, man, the Democrat Party is doubling down on open borders. They're doubling down on it. They want to scream impeachment, over every deportation and mass arrest. They've chosen immigration as their hill to die on. And fine, bring it. Because the president, shout out to Victoria here. She said, thank you for the $2 super chat. She says, my name is Victoria. Oh, shout out to you. God of the Bible. Got you. We're in lockstep there. We're on the same page. Thank you very much for the clarification. Appreciate you, sister. And thank you for the support. But, President Trump's single strongest issue has been and is the border. Number 2 is getting the economy set up, situated. But when it came to the border, he's come in and delivered on the promise of shutting down the border and getting these daggone illegal immigrants up out of here. And every time that these Democrats roll out a teary-eyed plea for an undocumented, birthday party, at the border, millions of Americans recoil, remembering the day that their kid's soccer practice was shot up by a trafficker. If I were running the White House communication shop, I'd ratchet it up even further. Every press briefing, every presser plastered dozens of faces. When Caroline gets up there, talk about the tragedies that have happened in this country. Let's not forget the Americans, that have lost their lives, that have had their families torn apart and destroyed because of these people. So yeah, plastered dozens of faces of mugshots of violent criminals behind the podium. You can blur them all you want. Blur them all you want. Watch MSDNC go dark. Ban live coverage. See CNN's ratings tank. This is the visual evidence that the public needs. Criminals in our country caught red-handed. Let them try to censor that. Let them try to censor it. And then it will expose them faster than any tweet. That is a fact. This is crazy, man. I cannot believe that this is the hill that these people want to die on, man. I cannot believe it. This is the hill that these people want to die on. Christy, I agree with you. Whoever came up with the idea of, putting these mugshots out there, it's a genius idea. It is. It's a genius idea, and it's forcing these people to basically pick a side and show who they're aligned with. Show us where your allegiance are. That's what this is doing. That's what it's doing. But that's all I got today, man. We're going to keep it short show today. We'll be at it tomorrow, regular time tomorrow, and we'll have a regular show, a little extended show tomorrow. But I do appreciate you guys hanging in there with me and pulling up this morning, even though it's a brief and, abbreviated show. But I do appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you guys support me in the chat as well. Dr. Silla, maybe we need to get you to run, or maybe we need to figure out who can run and take this Shree fella's place up there in that 13th district up in Wayne County. Maybe maybe even you, Dr. Silla. Maybe we can get you up in there. We'll put some money behind you and help you get in there and run and take that spot. What's going on, Dion? How you doing? What's up, LJ Taylor? How you doing this morning? RJ Hudson, what's going on? Appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. We'll be back at this thing tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. As always, hey, Annie Love, how you doing this morning? Hope all is well with you. Keep God first, stay prayed up, man. You guys have a great rest of the day. This Tuesday. I appreciate you guys pulling up for a brief second with me and, giving me a little grace here. Doctor's appointments and all that kind of good stuff, man. It always gets in the way. And that's the one thing when you do this, it's very difficult to find somebody to, replace you and take your spot, but maybe in the future, that'll be something that we'll work on. All right, B, take care. We'll catch up with you all tomorrow, man. Peace.
Vibes so